Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Let me get first comments on the implications of this from Mr. Satyapal Jain. Mr. Jain, what stands out to you today? What is the big message from this verdict? Satyapal
I
Jain.
think there are two, three very serious messages which have been given not to the people of India but to the entire world. First is that Jammu and Kashmir we have been claiming it has been, and now it has been confirmed by the Supreme Court, is an integral part of the India. And now we have been calling Akhand Bharat. So if there was any doubt about that, Supreme Court has today cleared that. Secondly, the Supreme Court has upheld the powers of the President of India, the Parliament of India, and has recognized the distribution of powers between different institutions. It is the constitution bench judgment of the Supreme Court. It has also proved, given a message to the whole world, that the Indian judiciary is competent of and has the jurisdiction under the constitution to examine any issue, howsoever highly contentious, debatable, arguable the issue may be. And thirdly, it says the supremacy is of the Constitution of India. Parliament supreme in its own field, judiciary in its own field, president's power in its own field, but ultimately the supremacy is that of the Constitution of India. So whether it is Article 370, it is 356, or even Article 3, which creates the states, duties, etc., they have been beautifully explained in the judgment. And the last thing, I think, the Supreme Court, while expressing its desire that the election should be held as early as possible, has also ensured that the democratic working is restored in that state as early as possible. And I think that it's a day of pride for all Indian citizens.
I think that's a very important point that you make, that it's a day of pride for all Indian citizens. But before I open it up, Mr. Jain, I want to ask you, I was just interviewing Sajad Loon, who's a politician out of the Kashmir Valley, and he was not feeling proud. He was feeling very demoralized. And he said, why one rule for Kashmir and one rule for other parts of India? There are still continue to be states that enjoy a special status within the union, what the Chief Justice today called asymmetric federalism. How do you respond to this perception that there continue to be parts of India that do have some special applications, some special protections? Northeast does, some of our hill states do. So how do we explain this contradiction to politicians and the people of Jammu and Kashmir?
It's a very pertinent question that has been put. See, the basic difference between the status under Article 370, which was to the Jammu and Kashmir, and the special status to in certain fields like Himachal Pradesh, Northeast, some other states like Jharkhand, scheduled tribe, scheduled caste basis. The basic difference is that those states never disputed they are not part of the Indian constitution. They are not part of India. They are part of India because of their social or geographical or caste consideration, local tribe and all that. They have been given certain special concessions which are available to all the states where those situations exist. So far as the Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, it was thoroughly claimed by some people that we have a separate constitution. Those states do not have a separate constitution. They had a separate flag. Those special status states do not have a special flag for them. The argument was that Jammu and Kashmir has not finally merged into India. It remains something between India and something between other state, which now has been repealed by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says the Jammu Kashmir doesn't enjoy any other special status which are available to all other Indian states. So therefore, to compare those states where because of the different geographical social consideration, some special concessions have been given to Jammu and Kashmir, Article 370, to my mind,